Good morning. Good Saturday. Well, for some of us, it's Saturday morning. For some of us, it's Saturday afternoon. And I'll bet there's a few in the watching today. It might even be Saturday evening. But whatever. Welcome to our weekly community meeting. I'm Small Biz David, and we have a very interesting community meeting to share with you today. We'll get to that in a moment. What I'd like to do is a few logistics about what's going on in the community, a couple things I'd like to mention, and then we'll move right on to the topic of the day. If you are following me, and most of you, I'm sure, are following pretty closely, and you're active in the community, a lot of great things are happening. We're growing. Few folks join every day, and maybe by the end of the weekend, we'll have 600 members in the community. It's not important necessarily how many members we have in the community. What is more important is the engagement of those members. And this is one of the most engaged communities that I have ever participated in Google. And I had an objective when I set this community up, probably just about 6 months ago. Working on the theme of small business collaboration, because small business collaboration is indeed the single most important factor after your own business. It's the single most important factor of the growth and the development and the continued existence of your business, because we as small business owners, we have to collaborate. We have to work together with one another. I have some particular skill sets and talents. You have some of yours. You can assist me. I can assist you. And together, we help each one of our individual businesses grow. But what happens in a new dynamic happens in the marketplace, that as you and I get together and we collaborate, or there might be a collaborative group of 5 people like you're seeing this morning, we bring a new force to the marketplace. So it's something that grows, and I said, as I wrote a description about the community, I said that my very first sentence was, there is strength in numbers. And there is indeed strength in numbers. But as important as those numbers are, once again, is how we engage with one another. And as an objective, I want every single day, I want at least one good small business collaboration to happen, to take flight, to join forces, if you will. And so far, every single day, I have seen at least one small business collaboration. So it's all the time and energy I put into it has been well worth the while. Now, I'm going to challenge all the members of the community. I guess lingering out there is the number 1,000, and it would be kind of fun to have a community of 1,000. I've never had a community that large. And it's so simple. It is so simple to happen, because each one in the community, or everybody who is viewing, if you invite somebody, a small business owner who needs to have that energy in his or her business that we have in the community, invite them to come into the community, and we'll hit that number. So no big deal, but thank you for everybody who has taken an active role. I see every single day also, not only do I see collaborations, but there's postings in the community every single day. So you want to come back and see if there's something that you need to get involved in. There are opportunities. Scott and Vivek, who are on our panel right now, have been longtime members of the community, and they will tell you what kind of opportunities they have seen in their own businesses. So, are we going to pull a comment up, Vivek?
Maybe. Christine L. Bowen says, yeah, she is repeating what you just said. There is strength in numbers.
And I want to personally thank Christine. You have been one of the active members of the community. I see your comments, and you comment the things that I'm posting out there. And Christine, I really appreciate it. I have seen you do a lot of postings, and thank you for taking the time to do that. Okay, second thing I wanted to bring up, also in just the last couple weeks, I am bringing back to life a business entity that I actually created over a year ago. I don't even remember how long ago. It's called the Small Biz David Foundation, today LLC. Small Biz David Foundation LLC. It truly is the realization of a lifetime dream of mine. Scott, this may be the last business venture I formally set up. I mean, we'll be doing stuff, but this might be the final small business that is set up. But the purpose of the foundation, and we actually have a community page inside of Google, Small Biz David Foundation, so you can go find the community page. Actually, I posted a link to the page in the event stream earlier today, so if you go down about 10 or 12, whatever, I put a link to the Small Biz David Foundation. Very quickly, our objectives. We are going to be publishing digital video books. It's an expression my own. We will develop what that actually means. The first book in the community will be actually my book. I am developing the content right now, and sometime in early January that we will formally publish. Now, my plan for 2015 is each quarter to revise that book, bring new life back to it. So and we'll show you how to do that. But if you have any interest whatsoever about getting into a collaborative book effort, or it could be a single effort, it doesn't really matter, but I was a part of a collaborative book effort in the real world about 3 years ago, and this book was the outcome of it, and it was a wonderful experience for me. I actually got to meet one of my major mentor of all times, Brian Tracy, and he actually signed this book when I met him. But we can do the same thing with our digital video books. And so if you have any interest whatsoever, just follow what's going on in the community, and also if you want to contact me personally to talk about it, do not hesitate to do so. Okay, real quickly, number 3. I have been working in the last couple of weeks with Vivek, and I don't know where he is on your screen, but he's second from the right on my screen. And Vivek is as knowledgeable about Google technology as anybody I have ever met. And we are truly blessed to have him as a very, very active member of the community. Vivek is personally helping me develop some programs. And how many tutorials do we have, Vivek? About half a dozen now, maybe.
Yeah, we do have.
I will say to Vivek, I need some help here. Can you help me? And he said, sure, I can help you, but why don't we make a tutorial about it? So we have lots of tutorials about different types of things going on in Google. And to that point, if there's something that you need assistance with in your business, Vivek would be most happy to work with you and create a tutorial. Okay. Today's meeting objective is really something different than I've ever done, and I'm very excited about what the outcome from today is going to be. Well, let me introduce. Well, I'm going to introduce Scott because Scott and I have been friends for what, approaching 2 years now, Scott? Probably, for sure.
Yeah, in a friendship situation, you really don't count time, but I make it bet it has been about 2 years.
That was when Ronnie started. We met in Ronnie's group, didn't we?
Yes.
And so Ronnie's.
I remember when you invited me into my first hangout.
No way.
Yeah, you invited me into my first hangout, and I got in with Scott from Seattle, and there was a number.
Right. We had the two Scott S's going on that one.
Yeah, that was it was an experience because I think you never saw anybody try to access a hangout from a smartphone. That was an experience.
I'll bet, Scott, I've invited at least a dozen people to participate in their first hangout. Some of them have gone on to just constantly produce, so that's a good thing. Okay, Scott, I am going to let you introduce the other two very, very new community members because you were responsible for bringing those two into the community, so why don't you introduce them?
Well, thanks a lot, David, and good morning, everybody here on the panel. And before I do these introductions, I'd like to let everybody know who's watching this show that we're going to attempt to take your questions and incorporate them here into the conversation. We'd like everyone to be included. Unfortunately, we don't have enough seats down here in the film strip. But one of the areas of being an entrepreneur is taking a position of leadership. And as a leader, you really have to, it's important that you convey and lead the right goals for people. And what really saddens me is this whole issue of multi-level marketing that's being debated all over. And it's very important that we follow leaders that are going to, and information, and to prevent situations where people join into these multi-level marketing deals with great intentions, with goals that are set, and then you find in 6 months, for some reason, they fail.
Scott, Scott, before we actually go in that direction where you're going, why don't either you or one of our new members give us a definition of multi-level marketing, because it's such an important concept, and you and I discussed it was about 3 months ago that Forbes magazine ran a major article about multi-level marketing, or I can't remember, I think they did call it multi-level marketing and not network marketing, and they said that it's the most impactful, one of the most impactful things to ever happen, and they were addressing baby boomers in that particular article.
Yeah, the Forbes magazine article basically said that the MLM industry is about to explode. And there is a huge debate going on whether or not the MLM models are actually legitimate business models. Now, having said this, this is where we want to take this conversation, because on this panel is a friend of mine. He's from Lincoln, Nebraska. His name's Joe Sweeney, and he has some experiences, and he has a story. And Joe, I want you to give you the floor here.
Okay, thanks. You asked about multi-level marketing, maybe a definition of that. For me, it's multi-levels of distribution is what it is. Most multi-level marketing companies do not manufacture their own product. They buy it from a third party and then end up marking it up and then selling it to their members and moving it through there. So I've been involved in the multi-level marketing industry for a little over 20 years, almost 25 years now. Been in multiple different companies. And one of the things that I found was that the 80-20 rule applied most dramatically in almost everything that I did. 20% of the people that get into a multi-level marketing company will make money. 80% of the people won't. Now, why is that? It's because they're buying products that they either can't afford or wouldn't use if they weren't making money in that particular multi-level marketing company. And if you're an 80%er or one of those people that will never ever make any money in that particular opportunity, the minute that you stop making money, which is usually a 60 or 90-day window, you end up quitting, or you end up getting off auto ship. And what I found in most of the companies that I was associated with was the fact that once a person wasn't making any money or found that they weren't going to make any money, they ended up quitting and getting off auto ship. And I was having to put them in about as fast as they were falling out. And eventually, you can't get to the point where you can put them in fast enough, and eventually your opportunity is going to fail.
Joe, let me ask you a question, Joe. You said you've been in the multi-level marketing industry for 25 years. What are some of the actual names of the multi-level marketing companies of which you've been involved?
Okay. I've been involved with Nu Skin. I've been involved with Monavie. I started with Amway. I think a lot of people started with Amway, and that was actually a great training ground, although the opportunity just wasn't a great opportunity. I was in USANA for a while. I was in AvoCare for a while. And every single, it's amazing the number of. I mean, I can't think of all the companies. Some of them were fly-by-night companies that didn't realize that they were fly-by-night companies. Gas Up USA, where we had the gas card thing, which I thought was going to be hot when gas prices started to soar. Gas bill companies, laundry ball companies. I mean, just a myriad of different companies were out there. So.
I actually have never met anybody. You're the first person I've met that has been involved in the multi-level marketing industry for 25 years. What has been the attraction to you? Why did you pick that as a way that you wanted to spend your time?
Well, for me, the concept of residual income. Do the work once and get paid for it forever. I mean, musicians have figured that out. They cut a record once and they can live off the residuals forever. People who write books, who do movies, that type of stuff. Well, for me, I couldn't sing, probably wasn't going to write a book, and have a hit record. So, what was the way that I could create residual income, true residual income? And I looked towards the multi-level marketing industry as a way to actually do that. And I've done quite well in a lot of different companies, but the thing is that it didn't last. And the reason it didn't last is because it's the wrong business model. When you apply the 80-20 rule to it, if people are buying products that they wouldn't buy on a normal basis, use every day, use them up and buy them again the next month, and would buy them whether they're making money in that particular opportunity or not, they're not going to stick. And it just absolutely won't happen. And I got tired of front load deals where it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000. One deal was a water filter deal where you could actually come in for $25,000 if you wanted to, and what that usually ended up happening. What ended up happening there was the fact that people ended up with a garage full of product and no way on God's green earth be able to get rid of it. And they're expected to buy more the next month and the next month and the next month, and they just simply won't do it.
Conceptually speaking, Joe, would you kind of compare, and this is a business conceptually speaking, the multi-level marketing model with the concept of franchising? Is it kind of the same mindset?
You know, a little bit. It's interesting to me. You know, the franchising industry, when it first got started, basically, you know, there were a lot of people out there that tried to make it illegal. And the same with multi-level marketing. You know, when Amway first got started, you know, they tried to bring Amway down by making it illegal, and it actually got validated as, you know, a legitimate business model. So for me, you know, getting into a network marketing company or being part of a network marketing company is almost like owning your own franchise. Because there are certain business systems that are associated that if your leaders are good leaders, will have those systems so that you can follow. If you follow those systems exactly, much like a McDonald's, if you go into McDonald's, you know, the French fry machine's always going to be on the left, no matter which McDonald's you go into nationwide. In a multi-level marketing company or a direct sales company, if you've got a system that you can plug into, then it's a success system because success leaves clues. That is almost a little bit like having your own franchise, as long as you don't try to reinvent the wheel and you follow your leaders and follow their success system.
You're starting to sound a little bit like another one of my mentors, Michael Gerber. Michael Gerber clearly, well, 25 years ago, he started talking about the entrepreneur and entrepreneurial myth, and I actually had an opportunity to meet him. I went to one of his 3-day workshops. And the thing that impressed me the most, and he says about the success of any business, the business is not going to be successful unless you develop a system. You have to have a system. And the way he really got started with his thinking, he literally went into a McDonald's. And I don't think he went in there to eat. He went in there to study the system. Because like you said, it doesn't matter. You can go anywhere in the world except Italy. And you get a McDonald's hamburger that's going to be the same. Oh, I say that because I went to Rome a couple years ago, and I had a McDonald's hamburger in Rome that was as good as any deluxe hamburger I've had in the United States. It's just they've allowed their franchisee, for whatever reason, to kind of leave the system and do whatever, get some local flavor to it, I guess. But I need to say, too, just so that I can be somewhat credible in the statements that I make today in terms of multi-level marketing, in the last 15 years, I've actually joined one multi-level marketing company called Melaleuca. I actually joined it 3 times, and I made it very clear, and I signed up with the same guy 3 times over 15 years, and I made it very clear to him, and he's a friend of mine, I made it very, very clear to him that my desire to get involved with Melaleuca was not to build a business, a Melaleuca business. My only objective was to be able to buy product on a monthly basis and get that product paid for. So I got the product for free, so to speak. That was my business objective, and I did it because they truly made still do make a wonderful. Well, they used to have over 300 products in their product line. I don't know how many there are today, but I'm sorry.
About 400.
So they're 33% better than the last time I looked. But I actually did an HOA about a year ago. I teach exercise, and I did it from my exercise room doing the exercise, and I talked about 3 different products that Melaleuca manufactures and sells. One that I took on my way to exercise, one product that I took while I was exercising, and one product that I took when I came home from exercise. I think the product was Access, and I took it because it was working for me. It was working for me, and so I want to make it clear that I've had involvement, but I never got interested in developing the business aspect of it, because and I'm not making a negative statement. I'm just simply saying that I've always had my own things going, and I wanted to keep on going with what I was developing and building. So,
hey David, can I introduce?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we are lucky that we have David Walford here with us this morning. He has an extensive experience in network marketing. He's been very successful in a number of companies, including Monavie, and I'm pretty sure, David, if I'm right, you're going to be talking about some of the success factors we all need to take a look at. We need to pay attention to the success factors before we choose a multi-level marketing stay-at-home business to get into.
Timestamp it, Scott. Get the timestamp right now.
Okay, here you go.
We want to put this in HOA magazine.
Yes, David, you got the floor.
Well, Scott, I really appreciate, and David and Joe having me on today. It's a real honor. Like I said, I've been involved in the network marketing industry for about 8 years. Before that, I was in the insurance industry for over 20 years, regional manager with Aon Corporation for Nebraska and Colorado. And about 8 years ago, I was making very good money, but I had no time for freedom. And I'd heard about at-home businesses, and I said, well, you know what? I'm going to take a look at that. And that's how my wife and I got started with a company called Monavie. First year, we made a little over $30,000. Second year, about $65,000. And then it just started going down and down. I was wondering why, because we were doing the right things, we were coachable, and I really didn't know at the time. But since then, over a little time and looking at things, I found some things that were very exciting to learn. Some things I didn't really want to believe because I believed in them a lot, but it really spoke to me. So I'm going to really cut through all the hype and get to the real facts based on straight business principles. You know, if you ask a lot of internet marketing, network marketing, so-called gurus, why most marketing networks are failing, without hesitation, they'll tell you the problem is not having enough leads. You don't even need to ask them. Look at all their marketing. They're practically shoving these words down your throat to get you to join their system or buy their products. And I won't even get started on that topic right now. We'll save that for another time. But don't get me wrong, you need leads to grow your business. But guys, there's some very important principles that must be in place before you can even think about contacting leads. And I've talked to a lot of top network marketers all around the country, because I'm not afraid to talk to people, who have created huge organizations with thousands of people. In fact, our Monavie, we created over 6,000 people with no help from our upline. And they lost it all producing no residual income in the end. And when they heard the common sense business principles that I want to share a bit with you about today, the answer of having long-term success in this industry versus short-term success really hit me and my wife right in the head. It became crystal clear. It became, God, so black and white and so apparent why 95% of network marketers fail, that not only did we figure out the industry problem. I promise you one thing, the information I'm going to share briefly here, you probably never heard before, because nobody in the industry is really talking about it right now. And some of the top leaders in some of these companies who hop from company to company really don't want you to know this information. They really don't want you to know about it. Because what attracts people to what we do in at-home businesses, they want to be their own boss. They want to own their own business. And that was what me and my wife really wanted to do. But the third thing we wanted to do in this, and what really compels me to be excited, we want to create a lifelong, willable, residual income for doing something once. And there's a lot of important universal principles. The 80-20 rule Joe mentioned. If it's applied correctly, there is ultimate success. And if it's applied incorrectly, it can be ultimate failure. Because 80% of the people out there don't make things happen in life. Well, 20% do. I mean, you take 10 lawyers, you take 10 doctors, take 10 cab drivers. 8 of them just don't do much. So they get by, and 20% really seem to shine. And in our business, in the multi-level marketing or direct marketing area, what really makes businesses work is numbers. And numbers equal orders, and orders equal residual income. And whoever has the most orders in the end, doesn't matter what company you're in, that's going to be the person who has the ultimate success when it comes to earning residual income. And the larger percent of anyone's organization, and that's the 80%ers, at least it is in the 3 I've been in, if I'm going to win, I've got to find something that the 80%ers could do. Like my mom, my sister, my next door neighbor, my mother-in-law who's never sold a thing in her life. We got to cater to the masses where they have overwhelming value to stay as a customer. All companies, a lot of them have great products, but here's a key that knocked me on the head. They change people's buying habits with the non-essential products. When I got into Monavie, I never thought I'd be drinking juice at $30 a bottle. That was a non-essential product. The product worked. I was happy with it, but it was switching my buying habits. And if I was not making money, or the people weren't, most of them dropped out unless they had unbelievable results. So find a business where there's enough value for people to order every month. And then I knew, I'd have a home run. And they're hard to find. But if you find one, you have a home run.
Let me ask you this question. So if somebody is viewing this and they don't have a lot of familiarity with multi-level marketing, is the best thing to do just Google multi-level marketing and see what comes up?
They could do that. They're going to get so much content. We've run into something called the 12 success factors. It has nothing to do with any particular company. It gives a person an idea of what to look for in multi-level marketing companies. And then when you're approached with one, do your research about it and ask these questions. I can go through them very quickly, and if they want to get more in-depth information about these 12 factors, I can show them where to go.
Well, I understand that part, but that's also saying that that individual is approached. My question more was if they haven't been approached and they want to get involved and they don't know various companies' names, the best way to get that information.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, David. They can Google MLMs. I was just approached with Monavie by my mother-in-law's friend who was drinking this juice and making money. So I decided to listen. But there's a lot of companies out there. You can go in there. There's some watchdog areas that'll say the good and bad about companies, links. So there's a lot, you're right, there's a lot Googling to find out some things, and then ask the tough questions.
Okay, so how many of the success factors have we actually discussed here?
Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll go through really quickly, briefly, what they are. If somebody wants to know about something in particular, that's fine. But the number one thing that I look for, and I've seen people look for, is a company track record. Because most MLMs, if you look at it, they fail within the first 5 years. So you want to look at an MLM that's been in business over 5 years, 10 preferably, and one that's financially sound. Look before you leap. Will it last? You don't want to put your effort into something, and I've seen it so many times, it's closed down in 3 years. So you want to ask yourself, when you do your homework, it needs to be financially healthy, and debt-free is preferable. Those are the first two. Next one, Dave, I'd say strong management. I like Fortune 500 style management. It scares me when companies are run by MLM guys because they own the downlines. They start making decisions to make themselves wealthy off the back of everyone else. And that's why a lot of these companies, 1 or 2% make money and the rest don't. And then 4, a unique consumable product. Because if it's highly consumable by all, you're going to have residual income. And products must be products people are already buying. They're not changing their buying habits. No new money's being spent. That helps keep those 80%ers. And another thing, the 5th one is competitively priced. They've got to be considerably less expensive than the stores they're already shopping at, have smart economics, and great value in being a customer. Highly monthly reorder rates. That would be the 6th one. I like to see business reports. When I looked up at the company I'm involved in, they had a 95% monthly reorder rate. If I had that in Montague with 6,000 people, I'd be at the beach right now. If people aren't ordering, they quit. So there needs to be overwhelming value to be that customer. And then the next part, and David, the people that are involved in MLM that are on the phone probably are very aware of this. A lot of companies have high personal production requirements. You got to spend so much for inventory. You got to spend so much for your website. Where they're spending a lot of money each month that they really didn't plan on spending. So you want to find one with low personal production requirements, no matter what position you advance in the company, and a low entry fee. Just like Joe talked about, you know, I spent in one company, Isaac, made about $30,000 the first year, but I spent $5,000 to get in. So now I know, look for low entry fees, very low cost for anyone to join. The enrollers should not be paid a bonus on this fee. When enrolling people, a business builder, it should be very low cost. And the last couple here, low attrition. If people are quitting, they're not ordering. You got to have that overwhelming value to be a customer, whether people are making money or not. That's the key that I believe to create lifelong residual income. The last 3, timing. I don't like these ground floor deals. The next best thing, now maybe 1 out of 100 is going to hit or 1,000. But most of those fall apart in the first 5 years. Bad news travels fast. That's why most LM companies get a bad name. You see these gurus jumping from company to company, and I'm wondering, why are these people following them? They're thinking of themselves. And the thing that a lot of MLMers know about are no breakaways. You should not be penalized for enrolling someone better than you. You should not lose a person's volume because they do better than you. Leadership development should be rewarded, not penalized. I hate not to be in a company with a fear of loss. And many new companies, there's one more after this, use binary plans. And I got caught in 2 of them with there. I made good money, and then I'm looking at it, really binary plans are the new breakaway. They really go against business principles. You're forced to reward the non-producer in order to get paid. And the last one is no risk. There needs to be 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. It needs to be safe for everyone, customers and business builders, and 80%ers can do no-risk deals. And I asked my question, and I'll close with this part, David. I asked myself a question. Am I looking for the next one, or am I looking for the last one? And that's really helped me create some financial wealth in the last 3 years. And if they do want a copy of it, Dave, of the 12 success factors, they can see my story with Bonavie. It's nothing about any other companies. It's myjuicetruth.com. Myjuicetruth.com. My wife speaks in there. It's only 5-10 minutes. There's a contact number where I will send the people a copy of the video of breaking it down. Nothing about any pitch of any company, just great information for people looking at home-based business.
Scott, will you make sure that gets into the event stream, that link?
Yes, I will, sir.
And actually, my next question. Well, first of all, Dave, thank you for sharing your business expertise with us. You know, one of my major themes is starting a business. We need more businesses started in this country right now than I've ever seen in the 40 years that I've been involved in small business. And as I listen to you speak about your 12 success factors and the kinds of things that I share with folks about starting a business, there's not a huge difference between these success factors and any kind of business that you would want to start. The key is that when you get involved with a multi-level marketing company, a network marketing company, the business model is already in place. You don't have to. You can then test the business model, ask the questions that you've said is important to ask, so you're taking a lot of the risk factor out of the equation when you're obviously working with something where the business model is a proven model.
Yeah, one of the things that I just want to say here in going into the end of the show is you got to listen for hype. The more hype that you hear, the less substance is there. And unfortunately, people get caught up into the hype and they can't hear where the substance is. If you're involved in, if you're being enrolled or being pitched by an MLM deal, listen for the hype. The more hype, the less substance. And those I would set aside and put in the pending basket.
Scott, you are one of the most entrepreneurial thinking individuals that I've ever met. And my direct question to you is, how long have you been involved in multi-level marketing, and what was the attraction for you to get involved?
Oh, it was clearly the profit motive. When I became involved with IZIG, Mobile Media Marketing, I definitely got drowned in the hype. And like David said, we put thousands of dollars into this, and ended up, we were all left on the street corner hanging the bag, holding the bag. These models that are based on hype and no substance don't work. Take a look at the management of the company. Where are they coming from? Are they coming from MLM deals that have failed? How many MLMs has the CEO been involved with over the last 5 years that has failed? Stay away from these companies.
If the answer to that question is more than one.
You know, I just like to say David did it.
More than one, move on. It's a red flag.
Yeah, and there's a lot of red flags out there, and you have to be selective as to who you go with. It's a great industry. It's a great lifestyle.
I'd just like to say, you know, David did a great job, and outlining the 12 success factors. But ask yourself one question after you review the 12 success factors: which one of those would you take off the table and still feel like you have a viable opportunity? When I answered that question, that's what got me. That's what got me in looking for an opportunity that encompassed all 12 of those factors.
So which one did you take off the table?
I didn't take any of them off the table. I found an opportunity that had all 12 of them.
Okay. Vivek, I had a question for you. Living in the UK, is multi-level marketing, network marketing a business concept in the UK?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There are, I mean, UK, for whatever reason, seems to often follow whatever the Americans do, which is I don't like. Uh, the Brits used to be the entrepreneurs, original ones, and they seem to have lost all that. They seem to be now happy following someone else, and anyway, yeah.
Well, you know what? That's an extremely interesting concept. That, and if you think about it, Vivek, because it was European entrepreneurs that created the United States of America.
So true.
and then the country, as this country grew, I guess that for whatever reason, that entrepreneurial spirit just festered, got bigger and larger, and here we are today. But it is kind of funny that you make the statement that in the UK it's more of a following kind of thing than necessarily a leadership position.
Yeah, we do have a couple of multi-level marketing groups. One of them actually is marketing various services such as gas, electricity, telephone network, mobile phone networks, all of that together as one unified service. And that is being promoted as a multi-level marketing situation. But they are having quite success, but yeah, we do have bigger players here in the UK who are dominating the energy market. So
I actually saw a friend of mine brought a similar concern of that to my attention about a year ago in my hometown here in Cincinnati, and it went beyond just utilities. It was a pretty interesting concept. I never got involved with it, but I have to think back, if I can remember, Dave, to look at these success factors and see how many of those were appropriate to the business opportunity. I want to thank you very much. That is something that we need to post prevalently. Scott somehow will do it, the success factors, because like I say, not only are they applicable to network marketing, multi-level marketing, but it's just general good business thoughts and business ideas. And so we'll post those prominently somehow. The way that I like to conclude is ask for a summary statement from each of you, and I will start as I'm looking on my screen. The lower third, I will start with Dave. You are the furthest on the left, so if you would like to make a summary statement about today.
Yes, you know, in talking about people who are looking for at-home businesses, to summarize, you know, you have to realize that people are looking, and if they come to you and work with you, you're there to literally help change their life. Whether they make an extra $500 a month, it could be life-changing for them. They have sometimes no other option at work. They have to look to this industry. Good people are there to help them with that or help them take it to replace their income. So do your homework. The 12 success factors, again, it's just myjuicetruth.com. There'll be a number there. You can text it, just send an email, or you can call it, and we will get you the info, and then we can also get it with you, David. But I just like to see everybody be successful in whatever they do, and at-home businesses give a person an area to leverage themselves. The leverage is huge. I mean, in Montague, where we didn't have the right comp plan, I leveraged 18 signups into 6,000 people. We can't do that in a regular job. So, David, I appreciate your time and giving us a floor here and your efforts.
Well, it's about business. Our community is about small business. Our community is about small business collaboration. I don't think there's any model as strong as the network marketing model of collaboration, because it's the collaboration factor that makes folks successful, whatever the industry might be. Joe, do you have a summary statement?
Yeah, I appreciate being here today. For me, I'm passionate about taking the experience that I've learned over the last 20 plus years in this industry and being able to get that information out to people and have them learn from my experiences. I don't want to see people out there, go blindly into an opportunity, only to have the rug pulled out from underneath them, multiple times like I did. Do your homework and do your research. Really take a look at the 12 success factors and apply that to any opportunity that you're thinking about getting involved in. And if your company doesn't have all 12 of those, and you put your time and effort, it's probably into that company, it's probably not going to last. And so for me, I feel like I've learned a lot. I've learned how to develop true residual income over the years by applying those concepts to those 12 success factors to a viable opportunity. And I now am very confident that the effort that I put into, the time and effort that I put into, is going to help a lot of people and is also going to last for a lifetime for me and also be rollable to my children, which is why I got into this industry to begin with. So thank you very much for having me today.
My pleasure. And Scott, and you only have like a couple minutes, Scott, not like a couple hours to make a summary statement.
Well, I'll live up to that couple-minute request. I want to summarize by just showing Christine's comment here, if I can get it up here on the monitor. She sort of sums it up in these questions, and these were brought into the show today by Dave Walford from Lincoln, Nebraska. The question is, are you looking for the next one or the last one? That's the question. We hope we provided some value to everyone here. Feel free to keep commenting in the stream. And as always, David, thanks for giving us the platform.
I didn't give you the platform. Google gave you the platform. I just gave you the opportunity. Is there another comment that we need to pull up there? Christine Bowen, thank you. I need to thank you for your participation in today's discussion by the comments you were putting in the stream.
Can I interrupt you, David?
Sure, absolutely.
I just want to bring up this comment from Christine Bowen. She is highlighting a book, and I have been encouraging her to create a HOA with that. And she says she is well, it's a good idea, she says. So it's a book by Robert Kiyosaki, and probably David, maybe you should pull her in and for the HOA that about the book.
You mean right at this moment or in the future?
No, yeah, future HOA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. I encourage members to tell me they want to be a part of the panel, as opposed to me necessarily picking them out and inviting in. And if we're talking about books, Vivek, I think you and I would be remiss if we didn't mention on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's going to be an HOA discussion of a great book that has some wonderful business principle in it. Who Moved My Cheese? Here's a copy of the book. And I'm going to be on the panel. Are you going to be on that panel too, Vivek? Yes, you are.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, you were one of the motivators of the discussion, and another community member, William Rock, is hosting the HOA, and if I'm not mistaken, our friend and community member David Amerlin is going to be on that panel also, and it's a book about change. And if you haven't read the book, there's an audio version in the event stream, and Vivek posted a YouTube in the. I think you posted that in the community, didn't you, Vivek? The YouTube.
No, not me. William Rock did.
William did, and so that's a discussion that we're going to have. It just so happens everybody on that panel is a community member. It's just that I'm not hosting it myself. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time today. We learned a lot of good business principles today, and I thank you for that. And we were able to apply those principles into to the network marketing, multi-level marketing arena, which can be, well, it's an important arena for the three of you, and it's a business opportunity. It's a business opportunity for folks, and you heard it a couple times this morning. One of the strongest drawing factors to a multi-level marketing company, and the one that is done right, a company that does it right, is that ongoing residual income. You do what you do one time, and it continues to generate income for you, I guess, for as long as you're a member, or until for as long as that multi-level marketing company is a company. So we all love residual income. Residual income is one of the greatest things we can create in our businesses. So thank you once again, and thank you for viewing. If you have any questions or comments, please continue in the event stream, and we will see it. I will see it, and we'll keep the discussion going and create new opportunities for ourselves. My name is Small Biz David, and I will see you the next time, which may very well be the best time.
Thank you, everybody.